Hi, my name is Bridget and I am from New York. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. When I was born, my dad used to take me to the aquarium all the time because that's where he worked as a marine biologist. Hanging out in Dad's aquarium made me fall in love with all the animals. And one day when I was around 7 years old, my dad took me into the water to meet Chula. She was a dolphin, and he touched my nose with her long mouth.
Dad, I think she likes me.
I think so too, sweetie.
You know, when I grow up, I want to be just like you.
I loved my dad so much. I also had a great mom too, but she was always out working since she was a top lawyer in the country. My life was perfect until I came home from school one day and found my mom crying. What's wrong, Mom?
Bridget, I don't think your dad is coming back.
What do you mean he's not coming back?
His job called and they sent out some lifeguards to search for research crew they sent out at sea, and they can't find him.
Mom broke down again, and I wanted to comfort her, but I was also breaking down. So I ran to my room and turned on my rock music up loud. This was my way of ignoring the facts. 2 years went by, and my dad still never returned. And I became the geek who covered her face with her hair and walked around with a hoodie and books. And then, in my senior year, the school wanted to take us on a 1-week trip to the Atlantic Ocean, but my mom refused to let me go.
I'm sorry, Bridget. I already lost your father to the ocean, and I'm not losing you too.
But Mom, this is my opportunity to explore the best sea creatures in the world. Mom stood her ground and stuck to her decision. But when I told my biology teacher, Mrs. Jam, she immediately came to my house since I was her top student and she adored me to bits.
Hi, ma'am. I came to speak to you about Bridget. If it's about that trip to the Atlantic Ocean, my answer is no.
Mrs. Jam was a very persistent person, and somehow she managed to convince my mom. I was so excited! The last time I felt this happy was when Dad took me camping.
Please stay safe.
I will, Mom. She hugged me tightly and almost didn't let go. The ship that we sailed on was huge, and on the first night, the kids in my school organized a party on the boat. But I didn't have many friends, so I sat by myself next to the edge of the ship, reading a book, until suddenly I spotted a dolphin. Hey there, little guy. I leaned over to touch him, and then all of a sudden I toppled over, almost falling into the sea, until the hottest guy in school caught me and pulled me up. His name was Shane, and this was my first time being this close to him.
Wow. What were you doing at the edge of the boat?
I saw a dolphin that I couldn't miss.
Haha, okay, that's cool. Just don't fall in again unless you want to be swimming with the dolphins tonight. And how come you're out here alone when everybody is having a good time at the party?
I just wanted some fresh air. A gush of breeze lifted my hair from my face.
Wow, you must be a Vogue model.
My face turned red, blushing at what he said. And then this girl, Jessica, approached us. She was one of the popular cheerleading girls at school with a massive attitude.
There you are. I've been looking everywhere for you.
She clung on to Shane and smirked at me.
What are you doing with her?
He wanted to talk to me. Do you have a problem with that?
Well, yeah. He is my boyfriend.
Well, maybe you should write your name on his forehead then. That way we will all know that he belongs to you. Shane looked at me, speechless. I was very quiet in school, but not stupid. When the snobby girls gave me an attitude, I gave it right back. After that scene, the teachers called it a timeout, which meant we all had to go to bed. And while we were fast asleep, there was a sudden bang, and then screaming.
Everyone, we need to get off the ship. The ship is sinking.
When I put my feet on the floor, there was already a puddle of water. I ran with all the other kids and we got onto a lifeboat and rowed the whole night until we came to an isolated island.
Oh my gosh, my hair is so damaged.
Jessica and her crew of cheerleaders looked like recycled Barbie dolls without their makeup. And then Shane suddenly appeared in front of me.
You still look the same. I guess natural beauty pays off in the end.
Shane, come here. I need you.
Jessica was such a control freak. She wanted Shane to hug her because she felt emotional, and him just popping up and randomly calling me beautiful was also a little strange, but I wasn't complaining. I looked up at the sky and saw that the clouds were heavy, and I remembered my dad showing me how to build shelter with banana leaves and sticks. And when I started gathering the sticks and leaves together, Jessica started mocking me.
What on earth are you doing?
Building shelter. Do you want to help?
I would never do something so degrading like that. Because I'm a lady and ladies like me could never do a maid's job.
So we're stuck out here in the middle of nowhere, and all you can think of is your lady self. I guess you're not only selfish, but also very dumb.
Ha! How dare you? It's not like we're going to stay here forever. Oh wait, I forgot you finally made it home, where you can be all alone and live amongst the sea creatures. You're such a geek.
All her friends laughed. Then Mrs. Jam gave me a hand and Shane joined in.
This is actually a bright idea because it looks like a storm is caving in.
After we built the shelter, it didn't take long for it to start pouring down, and Jessica and her minions ran to the shelter. Wow, looks like my geeky little shelter is now useful. Jessica smirked at me. Then she stood next to Shane, pulled him closer to her, and kissed him madly. A part of me did feel jealous, which I didn't understand since she was her boyfriend after all. Later that night, as we fell asleep, I had this strange dream about my dad. And then suddenly, I woke up and heard someone shouting in the woods. I bravely got up to see what it was, and then I screamed when someone touched my shoulder. Ah! Oh my gosh, Shane, what are you doing here?
I saw you get up. What are you doing out here?
I heard someone shouting. Did you hear that?
Yes, now be quiet.
We walked further into the woods until we reached a cave. We didn't have any torches, so we didn't go in. But when we turned around to go back, we were surrounded by some strange people who carried spears and dressed in animal fur. Oh my gosh, please don't hurt us! They poked us lightly with their spear and then took us to their campsite where we had to bow down before their chief. The chief pointed at me and then he asked his people to smell my hands as if they were about to eat me up. And then they tied me to a pole and started a fire. My heart pounded with so much fear. No, please! I taste like Marmite! Please don't eat me! Ah! Just as they were about to set fire to the pole, a man appeared.
Stop!
His face was covered with a beard, but I noticed his eyes. They were just like mine. Dad?
Bridget!
He cut me loose and hugged me tightly. Dad! I thought you were dead! We hugged each other, crying and smiling and feeling so overwhelmed. The strange people of the forest adored him because he saved them from pirates once, and ever since, they took care of him. How come you never came back?
I tried, but there's no way out of here. We're stuck here.
The strange people also let Shane go, and we slept in their campsite for a night. The next day, before we could go back to the rest of the kids, I woke up early in the morning to find a spot to pee. While searching for a spot not too far from the campsite, I suddenly came across a ship beached on shore. It was abandoned, so I went inside to check it out. Wow, we could actually get back home with this. While talking to myself, I felt an ice-cold sword on my cheek.
Hi there, little girl.
When I turned around, a tall, dirty man with a pirate hat stood before me, and then 3 other men joined him. I come in peace? As they tied me up, I wondered if maybe these pirates were just like the ones we watched on TV, so I tried my luck. If you let us use your ship, I can show you where the treasure is. They looked at each other, and then the captain came closer to me with his smelly breath.
Hi.
What does I mean?
Show us the treasure.
Only if you allow me and my schoolmates, plus my dad, to board this ship. They grouped together to discuss, and then they agreed. But when I took them to the campsite where my dad and Shane was, the pirates suddenly changed their minds when they saw my dad.
If that man is your dad, then no.
Dad, what did you do to them?
I just kind of exploded their camp with a little bit of dynamite.
Oh my gosh, Dad, that's dangerous!
Annabelle, are you sure about this? These pirates are not to be trusted. They've taken a lot from the people of the forest.
It's our only way to get back home. I got Mrs. Jam to talk to the Captain Pirate, and once again she worked her charm, and we all boarded their ship and sailed off to find their treasure. As I sat alone on the deck, Shane came and sat next to me.
If it wasn't for you, we'd all probably be stuck on that island, turning into savages.
Yeah, what can I say? I got it from my dad. I'm so happy I finally found him. Jessica then appeared in front of us.
Why is it every time I look for you, you're always with her?
Jessica, wait for me inside. I'll be there soon.
She rolled her eyes and stormed back inside. Why do you let her control you so much?
I don't know. I guess because she's so popular and I just got sucked into being that cool guy who gets the hot girl thing.
And do you like that?
No, if I could create my own school, I'd rather have more girls like you around.
He always had a way with words. 2 days passed, and we were still sailing. And then one day, as I stood up on the top of the ship, looking through binoculars, the Captain Pirates and all his mates surrounded me.
Where is our treasure?
We still need to get there.
Stop lying or else we will throw your dad in the ocean.
I didn't know what else to come up with, since there was no real treasure. And then to show me that they were serious, they pushed my dad into the ocean and I ran screaming, "Dad!" When I looked down, there was a shark, and then I jumped. Since my dad and I were really great swimmers, we swam underwater and stayed really still. This was something my dad taught me about sharks. They won't come near you if you remain still. After the sharks swam away, Shane let down a rope and we climbed back up, but the pirates were not too happy. Okay, your treasure is in New York. Once we get there, I'll show you exactly where it is. The pirates gave us a chance, and when we eventually reached home, the kids screamed for joy and thanked me.
Bridget, you saved us.
Okay, enough of your happy screaming. We still want our treasure.
When they pointed their swords at me, the security at the harbor saw this and came to our rescue. The pirates were arrested and we were all safe. When Shane came to talk to me again, Jessica immediately pulled him away. But this time, he pushed her away.
I'm breaking up with you, Jessica.
What? You can't do that. Every boy in the school wants to date me.
No, we don't.
A few boys walked past her and laughed at her hair, now that she looked like she was electrocuted. Jessica screamed her lungs out, angry at Shane for breaking up with her, and stormed off. Shane turned and smiled at me.
I guess I'll see you at school.
Yeah, I felt butterflies in my stomach after he left, and then my dad touched my shoulder.
Are you ready to go home?
Yes, I can't wait. When we walked into our house, Mom cried and ran into Dad's arms.
Oh, how are you here?
Bridget saved me.
We all had a big family hug, and later that evening, while we were eating dinner, there was a knock on the door. Dad opened it and then said it was for me. When I went to see who it was Shane.
Hey,
Hey,
I was wondering if you would go to prom with me.
and you couldn't wait till tomorrow to tell me this?
No.
He looked so cute when he was shy, and this time I pulled him closer and kissed him. Of course, I'll be your date. Hello, my name is Carla from Miami. Please like and subscribe. When I was 5 years old, my astronaut dad went to space and never returned. His colleagues searched for him for weeks until they finally told us that he was gone for good. After that, I grew up with my famous fashionista mom who styled celebrities. As you'd expect, I picked up fashion and makeup skills at a very young age. Mom thought I would be a fashionista like her, until one day she walked in on me sitting on a pile of Dad's books, reading to my dolls.
Sweetheart, you can actually read that book?
Yes, I can, Mom. Dad used to teach me.
A few days later, Mom put together a mini library for me, but I finished reading all the children's books there within no time. In school, it didn't take long for my teachers to realize that I was kind of a genius. And by the time I was in 7th grade, I could solve senior year level math problems within minutes. It was kind of my superpower. As I grew older, I became prettier, much to Mom's delight. She thought for sure I had a future in modeling, but I told her I had other plans.
What plans? What could be better than becoming a famous model?
I want to be just like Dad.
But you're so pretty, you don't have to kill yourself studying.
Mom bought me all the designer outfits she could find, hoping I'd see what I was missing. That only made me the most stylish nerd at school. I finally graduated high school with perfect scores and got into the most prestigious university in the United States. Only the best of the best were accepted there, and I was one of them. I spent hours getting ready for my first day of class at the university. I finally settled on an outfit, and as I hurried to class, I realized I was a few minutes late. Not exactly how I wanted to start my first day. When I walked in, my designer heels click-clacked on the auditorium floor. I looked for the nearest seat, and as I went to sit, someone stuck their leg out and I tripped and fell into my seat, my books landing on the floor. Hey, what's your problem?
Are you lost, Barbie? This is not the Barbie dollhouse. Fashion school's that way.
The whole auditorium burst out laughing. Right, I had forgotten that outside of my high school, everyone saw me for only my looks. A dumb blonde who couldn't possibly be anything more than a brainless doll face.
Settle down, everyone. Girl in pink, it's good for you to join us. Now find a seat and let's continue. Brody, pick on someone your own size.
Great, even the professor was making fun of me.
Welcome, everyone, and congratulations. If you are sitting here right now, it means that you are among the best in this country. In fact, one of you here earned the highest score in the history of the SATs.
By now, everyone was looking around, whispering to each other about who it could be.
Well, whoever it is, it's definitely not Barbie over here.
Seriously, what was his problem? I was about to say something when the girl seated next to him turned to me and handed me some of my books.
Don't mind this jerk. He thinks he's the only one who deserves to be here.
Thanks.
Joan.
Hi, I'm Carla. She smiled at me and then kicked Brody's seat, almost tipping him over. We both burst out laughing. By the end of the week, Joan had stopped so many attacks from Brody that I lost count. She was sort of my protector. One afternoon, she invited me to watch her as she tried out for the university swimming team. I was so excited, but as soon as I sat down, a shadow blocked my view. I looked up to see Brody in nothing but tiny swim shorts. He'd just gotten out of the pool and was dripping water all over my shoes. Ugh, you again? Move, you're blocking my view.
You don't belong here.
And who are you to judge that? You don't know anything about me.
Let me guess, your parents' money got you here, right?
It was almost Joan's turn to swim, so I stood up and walked past Brody trying to get a better view of the pool. And guess what he did? He tripped me. Again! I went down screaming, and when I tried to get up, I slipped and fell into the pool, face first. I splattered around the pool, trying to find anything I could hold on to. Help! I can't swim! A few seconds later, someone grabbed me and pulled me out of the pool. As soon as I saw who it was, I went ballistic. Stay away from me! Don't you dare come near me ever again!
I am so sorry, Carla. I didn't know.
Just then, Joan ran towards us. She took one look at my drenched clothes and turned to Brody.
You jerk!
Without warning, she slapped Brody across his face. I shot to my feet and grabbed her before she could slap him a second time. Brody stormed away, while Joan helped me dry off before she got called to the lineup. She won her round of the tryouts, and when she got out of the water, I hugged her. I can't believe how good you are! You can easily get into the Olympics!
Thanks. Now let's get out of here. Any plans for this evening?
How about we go to my room and order pizza to celebrate your win? My treat.
Sounds perfect.
A few hours later, Joan and I were sitting on my dorm room bed, a large pizza between us, when someone knocked on my door. I answered it only to find Brody standing there. What are you doing here? How did you even find my room?
Carla, I'm really sorry.
Oh, so it's not Barbie now?
I'm sorry for calling you that, but I'm here because of what happened earlier. When you said you couldn't swim, I felt so guilty.
Leave.
Before he could say anything else, Joan slammed the door in his face, then turned to me.
Oh my god, you can't swim? You must have been terrified.
Joan sounded so worried, and I enjoyed the attention, but I had to tell her the truth. I have to tell you something.
Sure, what is it?
I can swim.
What? But Brody just said...
I know. I just said that to mess with him after he tripped me and I fell into the pool. I expected her to be mad at me, but instead she burst out laughing.
I underestimated you. You're evil. Served him right, though. He was a jerk for tripping you again.
We spent the rest of the night talking and laughing. I looked forward to the next class because I knew Brody was not going to be mean to me ever again. Or so I thought. When Joan and I walked into class a few days later, a bunch of students were gathered around my seat. As soon as they saw us, they walked in different directions, some laughing. That's when I saw it. My usual seat was painted pink, and the word Barbie was written on it in large gold letters. I immediately looked at Brody, and he was trying so hard not to burst out laughing. Brody, I know you did this! I thought you said you were sorry!
That was before I found out you lied to me about not being able to swim.
I turned to Joan. You told him?
What? No way!
Then how did he know?
I overheard you after your girlfriend slammed the door in my face.
Of course he had eavesdropped. I wanted to tell him that Joan wasn't my girlfriend. I wished she could be, but I hadn't gathered the courage to ask her yet.
Keep your big ears out of your business.
Joan was standing toe-to-toe with Brody, and I was so sure she was going to tackle him when the professor walked in. He went straight to the whiteboard and wrote a math equation.
This is one of the most complex math equations. I'd like volunteers to solve it. First one to solve it gets free dinner at a restaurant of their choice.
Brody raised his hand immediately.
I'll do it, and I'd like Barbie to do it too.
What? I didn't raise my hand.
Are you scared that I'll beat you? Come on, I thought you'd jump at the opportunity to prove that you're not just a pretty face.
Everyone stared at me, waiting for my answer.
You don't have to prove anything to anyone, Carla.
I know, but I need to do this. I walked to the board and stood next to a smirking Brody. The professor set up a timer for us as Brody and I took a marker and started writing on the board. A few minutes later, I stepped away from the board. I'm done! The professor looked at my work and verified that I had gotten the answer right.
And she did it in record-breaking time, too.
Everybody gasped and clapped. Brody was so flustered that I'd finished before him and got it right that he dropped his marker. The professor looked at Brody's work, and not only had he not finished solving his equation, the formulas he was using were all wrong as well. He went back to his seat, head bowed and face red. When I got to my seat, Joan launched herself at me, hugging me and squealing.
That was amazing!
Before I could say anything, she kissed me and hoots and cheers erupted all around us. I closed my eyes and kissed her back. I couldn't believe this was happening. I had just been kissed for the first time and by a girl. Best feeling ever. A few seconds later, the professor cleared his throat and brought us back to Earth.
All right, well, that's enough excitement for the day. Take your seats, please.
I leaned into Joan and whispered, "To be continued?"
You bet.
I barely heard anything the professor said after that. I was over the moon and had a stupid grin on my face while Brody scowled. The next few days were pure bliss, as Joan and I spent every moment together. I took her to her favorite restaurant for the professor's reward dinner, and we had a great time. Joan was very athletic and was on almost every university sports team. One afternoon, I went to watch her play basketball. I walked into the court to find her and her teammates standing by the sidelines. "Why aren't you guys playing yet?"
Brody and his buddies won't leave. We've been waiting for over 30 minutes. I think we should just... Carla, watch out!
I reacted just in time to catch a ball that Brody had thrown my way. If it wasn't for my quick reflexes, I'd have gotten a broken nose. Are you crazy?
Nice catch, Blondie. Now, could I have my ball back?
No, the girls have a right to play too. It's time for you guys to leave.
Oh, so you're also a feminist? Great. Tell you what, the guys and I will leave if you play against me and win.
Joan and I looked at each other and she shook her head.
You don't have to do this. The girls and I can leave. Plus, you're in a skirt.
No way I'm letting him win.
Get ready to lose, sweetheart.
I'm not your sweetheart. The game got heated as Brody and I shot hoop after hoop, none of us losing to the other. Brody and his buddies were beginning to get frustrated, and I knew it was time to make my special move. When I had the ball, I dribbled and charged towards the hoop, and then jumped as high as I could, leaping towards the hoop. Everyone held their breath as I made the most perfect slam dunk. Joan and her teammates went wild, and before I knew it, she was in the court hugging me and lifting me up. After that, Brody made no scores and he left the court hurriedly, his buddies close behind.
Oh my god, did you see the pathetic look on his face?
Enjoy the court, girls. Brody stayed out of my way after that, until one Saturday when the boys' basketball team won a match against their biggest rivals.
Party at our dorm this evening. Everyone is welcome, even you, Barbie.
Fresh cheers erupted as everyone jumped in joy. Brody was known for his parties. Joan and I agreed to meet at the party that evening. When I arrived, I called her, but she didn't pick up, so I decided to go inside and look for her. The place was packed and loud music blared.
Hey, looking for your girlfriend? She's in there with Brody.
I didn't like the sound of that, so I hurried into the room. As soon as I walked in, my heart stopped. Brody and Joan were there, but that's not what stopped my heart. What shook me to my core was the fact that they were kissing. What the heck is going on here? Brody turned to me, an evil smile on his face, while Joan suddenly pushed him and darted to my side.
What did it look like? Your girlfriend just kissed me.
That's a lie. I came in here to return your call, and he followed me, then tried to kiss me. Please believe me.
I turned to Joan and hugged her. Of course I believe you. Then I looked at Brody in anger. Joan, let's get out of here. This place stinks anyway. I took my girlfriend's hand and we walked out of there smiling. During our final math class for the semester, the professor walked in, a smile on his face.
At the beginning of the semester, I announced that one of you scored the highest SAT score in the history of SATs. Can anyone guess who that is?
I listened as everyone whispered and wondered who the top student was.
I bet it's Brody. He's pretty smart.
What about Carla? She solved the math equation pretty quick.
No way, she just got lucky.
I bet that's what everyone thought. I could fly a rocket to the moon and they'd still think I was just a dumb blonde. So unfair.
For those of you who guessed Carla, you're right.
Everyone went silent, except for Brody.
What? No way. That's enough, Brody. All semester I've watched you harass Carla. The only reason I didn't kick you out of this class is because she asked me not to, and assured me she could handle your attempts at humiliating her. Now what do you have to say for yourself?
All eyes were on Brody, and just as he was about to speak, I stood up. Thanks, Professor. I know that most of you are surprised that a girl who looks like me could have the highest score, but I wanted to tell you that I don't have to dress down just because I'm smart. There's absolutely no problem if I dress and look like a Barbie and still beat you at math. And you know what, Brody? I actually love my pink seat. As everyone cheered, Brody stood up. I expected him to say something mean, but he surprised everyone.
Congratulations, Carla. And I'm sorry I stereotyped you like that. It was very wrong of me.
I stared up at the ceiling,
What are you doing?
waiting to see pigs fly.
Haha, she's funny too. Seriously though, I'm really sorry. Truth is, I was mean because I like you.
Huh?
Well, I have a little crush on you.
That's not an excuse to be a jerk, Brody. Plus, Carla is my girlfriend now, so walk away. And next time you try to kiss me, I'll punch you right in the face.
Joan took my hand and Brody took a step back. His hands lifted in surrender.
Whoa, no need for violence.
Joan and I laughed. See you around, Brody. I look forward to beating you at math and basketball next semester.
It's on.
Hi, my name is Perry. Please like and subscribe. The day I was born, my parents shrieked. She is all white. I was so pale that I appeared white, with very light brown eyes and beach blonde hair. But she's so pretty. And yes, according to my dad, I was still a stunner. The doctors diagnosed me with albinism. It wasn't life-threatening, but it wasn't going to be easy either. When I was 7, I was playing in the park. Hey, can we play?
Go away, Dracula.
And with that, she ran away. It wasn't the first time something like this happened. My unusual appearance freaked other kids out all the time. I went to my dad in tears.
Oh, honey, the kids are jealous because you're so pretty.
Pretty? I'm a weirdo. More reason why you should always stay indoors, sweetie.
Don't say that. A few minutes in the sun won't hurt.
Mom just huffed and walked off. My dad always had my back, and I was super grateful for it. Just a few words from him, and I would be feeling like a princess. But my mom was a different matter. I wouldn't really say she hated me, but she seemed to resent any attempts I made to socialize. When I was 8, Dad got a new job, and we moved from our home in Louisiana to Texas.
Come on, honey, I'll take you to school today.
But Dad, it's your first day at work.
It's your first day at your new school, and I want to take you.
You will be late for work, dear. We didn't come all the way here for you to be fired on your first day. She can take the bus.
No, I want to take my sweet angel there myself.
Oh, Daddy. See what I told you about my dad loving me to bits? Mom glared at me as we hugged, and I stuck my tongue out at her. He drove me to school with one of his sleek sports cars, instantly drawing every eye to me when I stepped out. I was very self-conscious. Soon, the teacher called on me to introduce myself. It was my first class in 3rd grade, and I was really nervous, so I fumbled for the words for a while. Perry, my name, Just then, a kid with a bean-shaped head threw a paper plane at me.
Hey, Four Eyes, were you born in a cave?
As if a bomb had been set off, all the kids started pointing at me and laughing, making fun of my unusual skin.
She's like an ugly Snow White.
The teacher tried to bring the class under control, but they were really out of it. Just as I was about to run away from the class and find somewhere to cry, a boy stood up.
Hey, at least she's pretty, unlike you, beanhead.
That shut the boy up and quieted the class down. I was glad to return to my seat and stole glances at the boy who had defended me in class. He didn't even look my way. When I returned home, I told my mom everything that had happened. Oh, those nasty brats. But that sweet little boy, what's his name again? Greg. He did well defending you. That was so sweet. I was surprised at the unexpected comfort from her, but soaked it in happily. However, to my shock, when I came downstairs the next day ready for school, my parents told me I would have to quit school. What? Why?
It's the best way to protect you, my dear. You will be homeschooled for now.
But I want to go outside. I want to go to a school where there are other kids.
Yeah, other kids that are mean to you.
They're not all bad. Perry, the answer is no. We are doing what is best for you and make you the most comfortable. This way, you won't have to worry about sunburns or being called nasty names. And just like that, my life was swept from beneath my feet. My parents employed teacher after teacher to teach me. And if they so much as looked at me the wrong way, Dad had them fired. This continued for 8 years. During that time, I developed the hobby of sitting under the pomegranate tree that marked the boundary of our lawn from our neighbors. I would read, and sometimes I would fantasize about the boy from 6 years ago, Greg. It was the only time of day I could do so without fear of being burned by the sun. One evening, I grabbed a book as usual and made my way to the tree. But to my shock, someone was sitting there. Hey, that's my spot! When the person turned to face me, my heart stopped. I would recognize that face anywhere. Greg! He was even more handsome now.
It's my spot now.
He didn't seem to have recognized me. What are you doing here?
Excuse me? I live here.
What the heck? But how? The question must have sounded dumb to his ears because he gave me a droll stare and said,
Are you living underground or something? I moved in with my mom to the next house to yours about a week ago.
A week? Wow, good to see you again, Greg.
Excuse me? Do I know you from somewhere? How do you know my name?
Oh boy, I wanted to kick myself for the slip. Greg and I hadn't even spoken the first time we met, so he must be pretty freaked out that I'd know his name. I'm just really good with guessing names. I am not a stalker, I swear. You can take the spot for today. I'll see you later. I turned around to make my escape, but Greg caught my wrist and spun me around to face him. My heart raced as he looked into my eyes for several seconds before he asked in a very low voice,
Why did you run away?
Excuse me?
Who quit school after one day?
I realized then that Greg had recognized me. You remember me?
The white angel that I didn't get to see again? I never got your name.
I'm Perry, and I never got to thank you for standing up for me. Thank you.
That's okay, so why did you leave?
After I told him everything, he was really upset at my parents.
Why would they do that? 8 years without leaving the house?
It's for my own good. He didn't say anything afterwards, but I could tell he was really angry. My life became pretty much a fairy tale then. Every evening, Greg and I would meet at the tree and talk or play games. He would tell me about all the craziness of high school while I drank it up like a thirsty dog, wishing I could experience most of what he said. When I introduced him to my dad as my hero from the past, Dad was ecstatic and invited Greg and Greg's mom over for dinner. My mom was sulky about it. Seriously? He saved her like, what, a decade ago, and you still feel the need to say thank you? It was 8 years ago, Mom.
We're not just saying thank you, we're celebrating Perry's first friend.
A first friend that could still be nasty to her one day. Don't you think you're already being nasty to me?
Sorry if the truth hurts, Missy.
Despite Mom's protests, Dad wouldn't budge. Greg was coming to dinner. Dinner was super fun. Greg's mom seemed to really like me, but I could sense that she was holding some kind of anger back. The ice broke when she asked my mom,
You said you didn't have a child.
My stomach dropped, and I looked at my mom in shock. Mom, what is she talking about? Dad was just as shocked. It's still for your own good, Perry. I thought it was best for people not to come here to bother you. But I will make an exception for Greg and his mom. I couldn't take it anymore. So you tell people you are childless because I am an albino? To my surprise, Mom glared right back at me. You think it's easy to have an albino child? Other kids go out in the sun and play like there's no tomorrow. But you? The moment you do, you are red and blotchy and it's just so... all of the things you could be, Perry. Why did you have to be born an albino? I was speechless at the outburst. I couldn't believe that Mom had such resentment for me deep in her heart. Before I could speak, Greg's mom spoke up.
You want to know what other things your daughter could be, Mrs. Will? She could be dead.
I gaped at her, and then at Greg, but he just gestured for me to calm down and listen.
8 years and 2 months ago, I lost my first child. She was albino. So beautiful. But I did the opposite of what you are doing now. In an attempt to let her live a life like other kids, I let her play in the sun with just a bit of sunscreen because she kept complaining it made her sweat too much. Skin cancer came and, well, she's gone.
Greg had tears in his eyes and his mom spoke and I couldn't stop myself either. No wonder he stood up for me so fiercely back then in class. Oh, well, you see, I'm only doing her a favor.
By telling people we are childless?
Mom huffed, turned on her feet, and stormed away without so much as an apology. I didn't sleep that whole night, but stayed awake watching videos from my favorite channel, Storytime Animated. My dad knocked at my door and pleaded me to open it, but I ignored him. It was true he hadn't known about Mom's hidden hatred, but I was still mad at him for going along with her plan to shut me inside. Then I got a message from an unknown number. When I opened it, I saw it was a message from Greg, asking me to look out my window. I did, and a grin bloomed on my face when I saw that he was there in the dark, holding up a bunch of flowers.
Hey, can you come down here for a bit?
From my bedroom window, I climbed down and met him on the lawn. We said nothing for a while, staring at the stars. I'm sorry about your sister, I didn't know.
That's the past.
Is that why you are friendly to me? Because I remind you of her?
I like you very much, Perry. Not because I'm fascinated with your unique coloring. 8 years ago I was, but now hanging out with you, I have come to see who you really are, and I'm in love with that person. You have such a good heart.
My heart soared at the words, and I stared into his beautiful eyes. I love you too. When our lips pressed together, I could barely remember why I was upset.
Did I tell you my mom is a certified dermatologist? She's pursued the career a year after my sister's death and is soon to launch a line of cosmetic products specifically designed for the needs of albinos. She would like you to be the face of her company.
What? Really? Yes, Perry. Really. I turned in surprise to see Greg's mom coming towards us with a kind smile on her face. I am sorry for ruining the lovely dinner today, Perry. I just couldn't bear seeing your mother treat you that way. It's okay. At least now I know how my mom really feels about me. She offered again for me to be the face of the cosmetic line she was about to launch, and I said yes. My rise to stardom was swift. The products Greg's mom produced was a special sunscreen that was light yet effective, and still nourished the skin and made it glow. I didn't have to wear those oversized clothes and hats anymore. Soon I was on billboards and on the front page of magazines. I was dubbed the Snow Princess. Other companies sought me out for adverts, loving how I glowed and praising my unique beauty, but I turned them down, exclusively dedicated to working for Greg's mom. Plus, she paid 10 times more than any adult could even dream of getting. At home, things between myself and my parents were still a bit tense.
What would you like to have for breakfast, Perry?
Nothing that you make. Mom and Dad argued a lot now. She even threw things at him and swore not to apologize to me despite Dad's pleas to.
I am not saying sorry. You can ask me 100 times. She is just being a brat.
Dad and I were still trying to rekindle our relationship, but Mom wasn't helping things at all. He was really happy with my modeling career. Mom was not.
Yeah, you're a model now, but it's just a matter of months before people get bored of you.
I rolled my eyes. By now, I had made peace with the fact that Mom just didn't like me. Nothing I did impressed her, and I was so done. You know what? Maybe I should just leave this place so you can truly be childless.
Can I come with you, Perry?
I couldn't believe my ears. I turned to my dad and he looked dead serious.
I think I might die if I continue living with this woman.
And just like that, we got another apartment. Mom didn't even apologize. I heard from Greg that she moved out a week later to God knows where. Good riddance. With Mom's nuisance absent, Dad and I were happier than ever, or at least tried to be. We both missed her a bit, save for her craziness. She wasn't an entirely bad person, but we tried to shake it off by goofing around with each other. The first day I attended school with Greg, it felt like I was born anew. I wore regular clothes out in the sun and my color remained as it were. Several people complimented my looks and many others squealed when they recognized me as the Snow Princess. Oh my god, you look like Princess Elsa from the animation. So beautiful. And Greg and I were going on strong with our parents' approval. We planned to go to the same university.
So you said you'd tell me what you will do with some of the wealth you've acquired so far.
Yeah, I want to give 70% of my earnings to the National Organism for Albinism and hypopigmentation to help as many specially colored people as possible have access to proper skincare.
Wow, see what I said? You're not just pretty, you have a good heart too. Perry, you're 1 in a million, literally and figuratively.
You always make me blush. We were just about to kiss when I saw from the corner of my eye, Mom!
Hey Perry, I've been looking all over for you. I really wronged you and your dad. I need your forgiveness.
Seeing my mom that way, I couldn't stop the tears that filled my eyes. Truth was, I had missed her a lot. She may not have been the best mom, but we had shared some good memories. Is that all you need, Mom?
No, I need us to be a family again. I miss you and your dad. Please give me another chance.
Greg looked at me and gave me an encouraging nod, but I hardly needed his approval to rush into my mother's arms. Welcome back, Mom.
Don't you look so cute? Wow, you look like a princess, Sophie. You just need a crown. I just loved playing dress up with Sophie. Even though she's a panda, she is my best friend. My name is Sue, and I'm from China. If you want to know more about my pandas, hidden treasure, and my life story, click the like button. And also don't forget to subscribe. Believe it or not, my whole family has dedicated their lives to protecting these pandas. We crash-landed here ages ago. My parents loved me a lot, but sometimes I felt they were so secretive, especially about the locked treasure chest they have hidden away.
Sue, it's time for your math class. We are learning divisions today.
Come on, Sophie. Time for school. Mom teaches me every day from home, and I love all my subjects since Mom makes it so much fun to learn.
Should we count berries or cocoa beans for our math lesson today?
Cocoa beans. Going to school with a panda meant I had to count fast. Sometimes the lessons were over before they started. The bell was our alarm system. Whenever there were hunters in the village, Dad rang the bell. Mom ran out, and I followed behind her.
Shaw, take Sue inside.
But I want to come too.
You know how this goes, Sue. Your dad and I will be back as always.
My parents protected all pandas in the forest, and I wanted to do the same. So this time, I decided to follow them. The forest did a great job of protection with natural defenses, but it wasn't enough. As I hid behind the bushes, I accidentally stepped on a stick. I tried to duck away from Mom's stick, but eventually she got me, and I squealed. Mom, it's me!
Sue, I told you to stay in the house.
But I wanted to see how you catch the hunters.
Sue, you could have gotten hurt. You need to listen to us. This can get very dangerous, and our pandas need our help.
Then teach me. What if you get sick or something? Who's going to help the pandas then?
Sue, it's just too dangerous.
Sophie's family? Are you saying I shouldn't take care of my family? You take care of me. What if you need me someday, but I'm not ready? I was not one to give up. So, eventually, my parents decided to give me a chance and started training me. Arrgh! Why can't I get this right?
Patience, Sue.
I kept failing at getting it right, but with my parents' support, I became a pro at setting up traps after a few months.
Go.
I memorized each movement in my mind, and I had practiced so much, my body knew what to do. After a couple of months, the hunters didn't stand a chance. I cut the rope, the net fell, and bang, I caught him.
Wow, you even beat us.
Well done, Sue.
I felt so good about myself. Finally, my parents believed in me, and we were a team. After that day, my parents finally showed me what's in the chest, and I was amazed when they showed me a treasure map.
Sue, now that you are old enough, I think it's time we told you how we ended up living here.
Before you were born, your mom and I owned an antique shop. One day, we found this map, stuffed into an ancient vase. Some very bad people knew we had it, and they've been looking for it and us for years.
Cool. When are we going on a treasure hunt?
We've been waiting for you to grow up and be strong enough for the hike.
We think you're ready.
I sat gazing at this map, daydreaming about the moment we would finally find the treasure. I should have known that wherever there's treasure, there's also trouble. That night, I was startled awake by the warning bell. My parents were standing at the balcony, looking worried, and then I went to see what it was. All the pandas were gathered around our treehouse, which meant that they were scared.
We really need you to stay here this time. Understand?
But you showed me how to get hunters. I want to help.
This is something else. I've never seen them act this way. You must stay inside. Keep Sophie safe.
Mom paused for a moment and looked at me with tears in her eyes and blew me a kiss before she left.
I love you, Sue.
The next day, Sophie and I waited and waited for my parents, but they never came back. Yeah, me too. Days went by, and it was just me and Sophie. I was angry and worried at the same time. Why didn't they come back? All the food we had was gone. Sophie started sniffing for food and suddenly ran out of the house. Sophie, what is it, girl? Do you smell something? Mom? Dad? This is Mom's jacket. Where are you guys? Sophie and I suddenly heard voices. Come on, Sophie, we have to hide. There were more hunters. I was wondering how I could trap them and if they had seen my parents, when suddenly I spotted this gorgeous boy with features like Hercules. The boy kept taking pictures of trees and bushes, and then he got closer to where Sophie and I were hiding, so I pricked him on his leg with a thorn.
Ow!
Benjamin, what is it?
Yeah, it was just a thorn. I'm gonna take some more pictures at the riverside. I'll meet you at the camp.
I saw the boy moving away from the group and decided to follow him. And just maybe, he might know where Mom and Dad were. I climbed up a tree and watched him flash his camera until he flashed at me, startled, slipped, and came tumbling down right on top of him. Ah! Up close, he looked so fine, but then I remembered my parents. What do you people want from my forest?
Your forest? Ow, what's your problem?
Go back to your own territory.
Hey, relax. We're just here on a tour.
Just as the boy took one step towards me, my panda crew appeared, and his face turned pale. Not so brave now, are we?
Aren't you scared?
Nope, but you and all your people should be, unless you want to be our supper. Good one. It wasn't until we chased him off that I remembered I should have asked him about my parents. Not so good after all. After all that drama, my throat felt dry. So I went to the waterfall to grab some water, only to find a girl picking the wrong type of berries. And just as she was about to place one in her mouth, I leaped like a leopard and tumbled onto her, saving her from being poisoned.
Ah! Get off me! What is wrong with you, you stupid girl? Now my dress is all muddied up.
A little thank you would be nice.
Ladies, what's going on here?
This cow jumped on me for nothing. Look at my dress.
This cow just saved your life, you ungrateful monkey. Those berries were poisonous.
Whatever, I'm telling Dad.
I was surprised by her behavior. The bratty girl just walked off without even apologizing. But the handsome boy stayed behind.
Look, we come in peace, and we won't do anything to harm your forest, I promise.
Wait, she won't hurt you, as long as you do come in peace. I tried to squeeze my stomach to make it stop grumbling, but I was super hungry, since all the food in the house had run out.
You can join us for supper if you like. There's plenty to eat. Please?
Since the boy was literally begging me to eat their food, I decided to go with him. Plus, Sophie wouldn't take no for an answer.
So, what's your name, and what are you doing out here all by yourself?
Oh, I'm never really alone. My parents taught me never to give my real name away, so I quickly thought of this famous singer Dad always bragged about, Michael Jackson. My name is Michael Jackson.
Okay, Michael Jackson.
I wanted to ask him right away about my parents, but something just didn't feel right. Timing was way too coincidental with them showing up, so I thought I'd check out the camp first, before asking. While I dined with Benjamin's people, I felt a little awkward as I kept looking for signs of my parents. Then, his father started questioning me.
You seem a little nervous, Michael Jackson. So, where are you from?
From the south?
Are you sure? And your parents? They work around here?
Yes, all around here, mostly. I tried to keep my answers very short, and then I saw Dad's ring on the man's finger. My head started spinning, so I quickly excused myself. Sorry. Excuse me while I go to the loo. When I was away from the table, I started panicking, but I had to be brave for my parents. And then I saw some movement inside of one of the tents. I bravely approached the tent and looked inside, and was shocked to see my parents all tied up. Mom? Dad?
Sue! Oh, thank goodness.
I quickly started untying them, but the ropes were so tight.
Hurry up, Sue, before they come.
But I was too late. Benjamin entered.
What are you doing in here?
Stay away from me! You and your people took my parents.
No! I swear I had nothing to do with this. I am as surprised as...
Steve appeared behind Benjamin, and then his bodyguards gagged and tied him up.
This is turning out to be a nice little anti-family reunion.
What do you want from us?
Just the treasure map. Bring it to me, and I'll let your parents go. Guards, escort Sue out, and get rid of Benjamin.
But he's your son.
My brother's son. So I don't need him anymore, since his trust fund is all drained out. Now let's see about getting that treasure map, shall we?
I gave the map to the greedy old man, thinking he would give me my mom and dad back. I had a lot to learn about bad people. Here's your map. Give me back my parents.
In good time. Now you will take us to the treasure.
But you said after I give you the map, you would let my parents go.
I don't like repeating myself. Take us to the treasure.
We had been walking for many hours following the map. Then we heard Mimi screaming her lungs out running towards us. Ah! Right behind was the king panda of the forest. He was a huge, angry, and snarling panda thundering up the trail. I instantly knew what we had to do. Run! Eventually, we lost King Panda, and we reached a place where there were 3 mountains in a high valley. We had to consult the map again. I think this is where the treasure is, in the middle cave.
Daddy, you were going on a treasure hunt and you didn't think of taking me? Hey, where's Benjamin?
Don't worry about it. We're rich now. And with all that treasure, I'm going to buy you the biggest mansion ever.
Mimi very quickly forgot about Benjamin and skipped ahead, thinking about the big mansion her father was going to buy her after stealing our treasure. You want me to go first? Make sure there's no...
Out of my way. Come on, Mimi. Let's take a look at our new treasure.
It's mine! I saw it first!
At this point, I was not surprised. I just could not understand how someone could act like that. And if this is what treasure did for people, I knew I didn't want any part of it.
Look what I found!
Look what I found.
Taking advantage of all the interest in the treasure, I started running back to camp to free my parents. I had only just started when I heard blood-curdling screams. I knew it couldn't be good. At first, I thought they were running from a monster, but when I saw their faces, they didn't look scared. They looked angry.
You tricked us. Where is my treasure?
Wow, this looks interesting. How to start your own organic farm.
You stupid girl. Where is my treasure? Or I swear I'll...
Haven't you ever heard that one man's trash is another man's treasure?
Steve was so angry, and he was making it my fault. I felt so overwhelmed until I saw Benjamin walk to us with a group of men dressed in blue.
Next time when you throw your son in the ditch, maybe take his cell phone away when you do it. Officers, arrest this trash.
The bad man and his bratty daughter were taken away, and then Benjamin hugged me, and I felt safe again.
I'm so sorry about all this.
My parents, are they okay?
Yes, they are waiting for you back at camp.
As my parents and I were going through the treasure box with all the treasure, Mom found a letter inside one of the books.
Hey, look at this.
We read the letter together, which was dated a few decades ago.
Dear kindred spirit, congratulations on finding the treasure trove. Knowledge is power. If you want to change the world, read these books. Then keep on reading. Read everything you can. Learn, grow. Your mind is your treasure. These books are one-of-a-kind personal insights from a lifetime of exploration. They will serve you well.
The letter was signed by someone named Einstein, and we all wondered if it could be the Einstein.
You heard the man. Pick one and start reading.
While reading, Benjamin popped by and addressed my parents.
I'd like to know if I can take Sue Michael Jackson on a date in the city. I have a helicopter waiting outside.
Sue Michael Jackson.
A helicopter?
After the police took the bad people away, Benjamin went back to the city. He found out that his father left a will for him, a will his uncle didn't know about. So he became a millionaire overnight.
Just bring her back, safely.
Wait, let me fix her hair first.
Perfect. I held on to Benjamin's arm and went out on my first date in a helicopter. I was super excited. So where are we going?
We are going out for pizza.
Perfect. I love pizza. What is pizza? As Benjamin and I made our way, my parents stood waving along with our panda family. And as I stood there watching my family, I realized I already had the best treasure in the world, family. And nothing could ever take that away.
Hey guys, I'm Annika Sabine. I grew up in the Arctic. Please make sure you subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. It really helps us out. My last memory of human life was from when I was 10 years old. I remembered my mother carrying me out into this icy landscape. The wind was blasting us with thousands of icy crystals, and I held onto my mother tight. But she let go of me and dropped me on the freezing floor. Mama! My mom turned and ignored me. She disappeared, and that was the only memory I had of her. I didn't even know what her face looked like. The trauma of being abandoned in the Arctic had wasted away what memory I had left. So now all I knew was that my name was Annika Sabine. After she abandoned me, I was devastated. But I decided I wasn't going down without a fight. I was determined to survive. I learned how to make a fire out of sticks in the woods left nearby. I learned how to make an igloo to shield myself from the snowstorms. I lived off seal meat and sometimes even polar bear meat. Life was tough and boring until one fateful day. I was about 16 years old. I had just returned from fishing when I noticed that smoke was coming out of my igloo. I felt my heart skip a beat. I hadn't lit a fire, so why was there any smoke? Was an intruder in my home? I sprinted as fast as I could and barged in, my spear in hand. Get out, you! I froze. It was a guy, and he looked about my age. He was wearing a coat made out of bear fur, and as he looked up at me, I noticed his gorgeous brown eyes. Who are you? I'm Sake, the boy coughed. I'm sorry for barging in. Get out! I didn't really know how to react, but I sure as heck knew I didn't want him staying any longer. I'd lived on my own my whole life. I didn't need someone else bothering me. I'm sorry, I needed some warmth. I don't care! You need to leave! But then I hesitated, because suddenly Sake was leaning to one side, and then he collapsed. I just stood there, unsure of what to do. I had an unconscious guy in my igloo. I could leave him outside to die. The polar bears could have him. I could care less. But just as I was about to drag him out, something made me stop. No, this wasn't right. Why do I have to be so righteous? I wrapped Sake in one of my blankets and fed him some soup while he slipped in and out of consciousness. He had a fever. When he finally woke up, he looked much better and healthier. He told me everything about where he'd come from. My uncle and I used to live just over the mountains there. But 2 days ago, he slipped and fell off a ledge. He didn't make it. Oh, I'm so sorry. My uncle told me I had family in England, and we used to have a radio, but that broke down. I was stranded here, and I was never really the best at survival, so I started walking to look for help. Then, I found you. While my mind was still trying to process what an England was and who radio was, I didn't even understand these words or knew what they were. Noises sounded from outside. What is that? Shh! We stayed quiet and listened, and then my blood turned cold. Well, colder. Polar bears. Oh no! You stay here. No, I can help. I didn't wait to hear him out and left the igloo. I was right about the noises. We were surrounded by polar bears. They roared at me fiercely. I started swinging to try and fight them off, but no matter how hard I tried, they were too much for me. I soon became overwhelmed, and one of them lunged for my throat. I closed my eyes, accepting defeat. Then suddenly, out of nowhere, I heard a squeal and all the polar bears scattered. I turned to see Sake standing in front of me, protecting me from the polar bears. Sake? Sake turned and smiled down at me. I realized just how cute he was. Are you okay? Sake helped me up and we stared at each other for a while. I had the sudden urge to hug him or even kiss him. But before anything more could happen, a plane appeared suddenly, flying really low toward us. Sake and I stared in shock. I'd never seen a plane before. I was speechless. Is it a rescue team? Maybe it. But the next words were snatched by the wind of the plane's blades as they came plummeting toward us. We screamed and dove out of the way, just in time. If we dodged a second too late, we would have been minced meat. The plane seemed to lose control and suddenly it crashed into the icy ground. Oh my God! A giant cloud of smoke rose in the air as the plane sat there like broken glass. Sake and I took one look at each other, then we started sprinting towards the plane. We arrived and searched desperately for any survivors. Over here! I followed Sake's voice and found him pulling out a woman. It looked like she was in her 40s. For some reason, I felt like I recognized her. But I shook the thought away quickly and together we dragged her out of danger. We double-checked for more survivors, but it seemed she had been the only one on board. What do we do now? We have to bring her back home. Sake lifted the woman in his arms and we carried her back. For days, the woman remained unconscious, in a coma of some sort. Meanwhile, Sake and I cared for her. One day, I entered the igloo with some wood cut up in a bundle. As I stepped in, I tripped on one of our blankets and went tumbling. But Sake appeared like some kind of prince and caught me before I face planted. I held on to him and we stared at each other for a while. Our lips were inches apart. I felt myself move closer. Where am I? We turned to find the woman sitting up in bed, wide-eyed. She looked at us. Where am I? She repeated. I pushed away from Sake and knelt by the woman. You're in the Arctic. The Arctic? Yes. The woman looked at Sake suddenly. Who are you? I'm Sake. The woman looked at me. You're Annika? I was taken aback. How did you know my name? The woman blinked, then suddenly looked away. I heard that guy say your name. Oh. I cleared my throat. Look, you're probably under a lot of shock. You crash-landed in a plane. Do you remember what happened? The woman hesitated. I was flying over towards Greenland. Greenland? It's a country close to here. I'm a journalist, you see. A journalist? Wow. Yeah. What's your name? Mandy Mandy Sandy. Mandy Sandy. Nice name. Mandy soon became a part of the little family we'd built here. Except Sake and I did most of the work. Mandy just sat around like some kind of princess. Mandy, can you help me light the fire? No, I'm so tired from helping out with the fishing. You didn't even do anything. You just sat there and complained. It was very tiring. Why, Ayana? Sake held me back. Don't. Just ignore her. But she's so annoying. I know, but if we want to survive out here, we have to work together. Fine. Sake could be so righteous sometimes. It was so annoyingly adorable. The next day, I had to say goodbye to Sake. He was taking a trip to the eastern end of the valley to look for more food since we were experiencing shortages after Mandy joined us. He would be gone for 2 days. I was dreading it. Just be safe, okay? Sake pulled his bag over his shoulder, smiling his beautiful smile. Of course. Try not to murder Mandy, okay? I'll try. I hesitated, then I hugged him tightly. Before we pulled away, I gave him a quick kiss on the cheek. He smiled and brushed my forehead with a finger. See you soon. I waved goodbye. Where's he going? Mandy must have just woken up. I groaned inwardly. Great. Now I was stuck with Her Majesty Mandy. He'll be back soon. How soon? What did she care? 2 days. I looked at Mandy strangely, then grabbed my own bag. I'm heading to your crash site. I'll be back in a few hours. Why are you going there? Was it just me, or did she sound a little panicked? Just looking for supplies. Jeez. What's with all the questions? I said goodbye and took off. For some reason, I felt like Mandy was hiding something from me. Half an hour later, I arrived at the crash site. Plane debris still scattered on the ground. It was so creepy. I started rummaging through anything that looked salvageable when I came upon what looked like a purse. This must be Mandy's. I opened it up, and sure enough, it had something that must have been money, credit cards, and an ID. I glanced at the ID, but what I saw made my blood run cold. Instead of the name Mandy Sandy, like she told us, the ID said her real name was Mandy Sabine. Sabine! That was my last name! Why did Mandy have the same last name as me? Was that a coincidence? No, it couldn't be. The fact that she lied proved that she was hiding it from me. But why? What? Then it hit me like a ton of bricks. Mandy. I knew I recognized her from somewhere. Mandy was my mom. You shouldn't have come here, Annika. I spun around. Mandy. My mom? She stood there grimly. You're... Go on. Say it. You're my mom. Mandy smiled, but it lacked all warmth. Yep. But I don't understand. Why are you here? Why did you abandon me? Mandy sighed. She turned to me. Because I hated you. I winced. I hated you and I didn't want you. You ruined my life. I could have been a model at Victoria's Secret fashion show. But no, you just had to come along and ruin my body. I worked as a journalist instead. A stupid, boring job. But one day, my work took me over to the Arctic. That's when I saw my chance. I dumped you here like the worthless thing that you are, and I left you. And I don't regret my decision one bit. You're a monster. It's nothing personal, just business. But why are you back here then? If you hate me so much, why did you come back? Mandy rubbed her face. That's the only annoying part of my plan. You survived. You weren't supposed to do that, you know. Now you're all over the news. Some satellite or something spotted you here all on your own. I knew I had to come back and dispose of you before anyone found out what I did. Dispose of me? Oh my God, my mother really was a monster. How could I be related to her? Yep. Sorry, honey. Mandy lifted a spear from behind her back. The world will never know. Suddenly, anger coursed through my veins. How could life be so unfair? No, I won't let you win! I stamped my foot on the ground, but as I did, a crack appeared beneath me. Mandy froze too. She looked at the crack, which was quickly spreading and widening by the second. She backed away. I looked around and realized suddenly that we were on a frozen lake. How could I have missed that? Mandy backed away and stumbled, sending more cracks into the fragile ground. Mandy, wait! I screamed as suddenly the floor seemed to disappear and I plummeted into the icy water below. I screamed as the cold bit into my skin like razor-sharp blades. I managed to push up and grab onto the ledge of the ice, but I couldn't pull myself out of the water. Mandy! Help! Mandy just stood there and watched me as I flailed about, fighting for breath. Mandy! I'm your daughter! Mandy looked away. I'm sorry, Annika, but I can't let you ruin my life. My mother turned around, abandoning me yet again. I lost my grip on the ice and fell back into the water, fully submerged. black filled my vision. I was drowning. As I drifted closer to death, my mind went to Sake. His smile, his kind heart. I would miss him. Then, a hand grabbed hold of my collar and yanked me out of the freezing water. I gasped for air as Sake rescued me, pulling me back onto the surface. Annika! Sake took off his coat and bundled me up in the warm fur. My teeth chattered as I looked at him gratefully. Thank you, Sake. But my relief was short-lived. Suddenly, Mandy appeared, brandishing her spear, and she charged right at us. Mandy bulldozed towards us, but she slipped on the ice, and instead of killing me, she dropped the spear and fell headfirst through the hole in the ice. Mandy! We scrambled to rescue her, but by the time we got there, she was already gone. Sake grabbed a hold of me and held me tight. I closed my eyes. So long as Sake was here, I was all right. Hi, I'm Melody, and I live in LA. Please like and subscribe. When I was born, rumor has it that my dad took one look at me and said I was an alien. You see, I was born with scales like a fish covering my whole body. Oh my god, those scales! Please take her, I can't! The nurse was so frightened by my skin that she fainted while holding me. Mom grabbed me from her just in time or else she'd have dropped me. From that day onwards, my dad avoided being in contact with me, and as I grew older, his disgust for my skin condition worsened. One time, he got a promotion at work, and he came home more excited than I had ever seen him. As soon as he saw Mom, he ran to her and hugged her tightly. Excited, I also ran and joined in on the hug, but my dad shook me off so hard that I fell flat on my face. I told you not to get close to me! She's just a child! How can you be so ruthless to your own child? Shh, come here, my little mermaid. You're okay. Mom loved me very much, and she had tried for so many years to show Dad that I was harmless, but never succeeded. When she took me to kindergarten, the other kids cried and cowered in the corner, so I had to be withdrawn from school, and my mom homeschooled me. Unfortunately, she got very sick and passed away when I was 8 years old, leaving me all alone with my dad, who wouldn't even look at me. Barely a year later, Dad married this woman named Paula, and she and her daughter, Charlotte, moved in with us immediately. The first time Charlotte and I met, I thought she would run away, but she looked more amazed than shocked.
You look like a real-life mermaid. I bet many people tell you that.
Well, I haven't met many people. And it shall remain that way. You're not leaving this house. Ever.
But, Mr. Hopkins, how will Melody go to school?
Dad ignored Charlotte's question. Instead, he turned towards her and his stern face transformed into a huge smile. Call me Dad, please. We're family now. Unbelievable! Clearly, Charlotte was the daughter Dad had always wanted. And if it wasn't already obvious he preferred her to me, he gave her my room. And where did I sleep? The basement. The only company I had was Charlotte, who sneaked into my room every night to hang out with me and bring me treats, books, and anything else I needed. You know, you could get into trouble with Dad if he finds you come here.
I know that.
And you're not worried that you'll catch something? We laughed as she combed my hair.
I can't believe Dad said that. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Now can we listen to some music? Every night, Charlotte would put on some music and we'd dance and sing along. Sometimes, I imagined myself performing in front of an audience.
You have a great voice, Melody. You will become a star one day.
Huh! What a joke! I can't even show my face in public. So how could I become a star? TikTok.
Duh!
What's that?
Oh my god, you've never heard of TikTok?
Did you forget that I live in a basement? Charlotte looked so sad.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to sound so insensitive.
I burst out laughing and she hit me with a pillow. Come on, I have a TV, remember? Of course I know what TikTok is. Anyway, you think I'd be famous on TikTok?
Definitely! All we have to do is create an account and then post videos of you singing.
But everyone will see me.
Not if you don't want them to. You can just wear a mask and sing.
Charlotte, that's brilliant! Let's do it!
Yay! I even have the perfect name for the account. How does Masked Melody sound?
Charlotte was right. It was perfect. The following night, she came to the basement with a bedazzled mask that covered my whole face. It was the happiest I'd ever been in a long, long time. For the next couple of weeks, I sang my heart out as Charlotte recorded and posted dozens of videos to the Masked Melody TikTok account. The account kept growing, and I was shocked at the number of song requests I got from my fans. That's right, I had over 1 million fans! One night, Charlotte and I were in the middle of our recording sessions when Dad burst in. Charlotte was so startled that she knocked over the phone stand and the phone fell. Dad picked it up, and we knew we were in trouble. Dad had not been in my room for years, and the look on his face told me that he wasn't here to hug and make up.
Is this what you've been up to this whole time?
Dad, I can explain. Melody has a really beautiful voice and…
I don't want to hear it! Take the account down immediately!
But…
Do as I say, Charlotte, and stay out of the basement! To your room! Now!
I'm so sorry, Mel.
And just like that, I lost my only source of happiness. I was back to being lonely, and I missed Charlotte very much. And my fans too, to be honest. After a few nights, I couldn't take it anymore, and so I took matters into my own hands and sneaked into Charlotte's room. Bad idea. Charlotte let out a scream and attacked me with a hairbrush.
Shh, it's me. Mel, I almost killed you.
With a hairbrush?
I doubt it. What are you doing here? Could you open another TikTok account for me?
Pretty please. She looked at me and hesitated. Pretty please. Even I knew she couldn't resist my charm. She laughed and finally grabbed her phone.
Here, let me show you how to create one and how to post so you can do it for yourself. You can use my spare phone.
Why? Can't you do it with me?
I would love to, but your dad threatened to kick Mom and I out if I kept helping you.
After Charlotte walked me through it, I hugged her, took her spare phone, and went back to my room. Just like my deleted account, the new one gained popularity quickly. Fans were excited and they asked me to cover songs by famous artists, including my favorite singer, Jonas. Jonas was every teen girl's dream, and his account had over 100 million followers. Doing a cover for his song kept me up all night. I kept deleting my recordings, but finally, I made a perfect one and posted it. Little did I know that it had just changed my life for good. I woke up to thousands of notifications. Before I could check them, Charlotte burst in looking breathless like she had ran here. Are you crazy? You can't be here. And don't you have school? Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god! Charlotte, breathe! What happened? Jonas commented on your video! Now it was my turn to stop breathing. What? See? Charlotte shoved her phone in my face, and sure enough, there was a comment from him saying he'd like to see me audition for an upcoming talent show he was working on. The show was a big deal, and I couldn't believe he thought I was good enough to be on it. What do I do?
Reply and tell him you'll audition.
I can't. I knew that if I agreed to do it, it would mean that I'd have to show my face to the public. All I could think about was how fast I would lose my fans if they saw the face behind the voice. Days later, I still hadn't responded to Jonas, so you can imagine my shock when he posted that he had met Masked Melody, and she had just agreed to audition for the latest show. He posted a photo posing with Masked Melody, but she was not facing the camera. Of course, it wasn't me in the picture, but I'd recognize that girl anywhere. It was Charlotte! Charlotte admitted that she met Jonas and pretended to be me, but insisted that she did it to help me.
I told Jonas that I have severe stage fright and will only audition if they allow me to sing with a full mask on and costume. And he agreed that since I am Masked Melody, maintaining the mystery of my real identity will be good for the show.
I couldn't believe it! They will really let me perform with a mask on?
Yes, and costume. What do you think of a mermaid costume? You do look like a mermaid after all.
Charlotte was a genius! We spent several nights designing the perfect mermaid costume, and Charlotte had tailored it just as we had designed it. I had to make sure I was perfect for the audition as well, so I practiced tirelessly day and night. Everything was perfect, Until one night, my basement door burst open, and instead of Charlotte, her mother Paula was standing there. What was she doing here? Melody, your father and I are getting separated. What? I thought they were happy. Apparently not. Paula explained that she could not be with him anymore and was leaving him for good. But who will I stay here with? You guys are the only ones who actually care about me. Charlotte told me everything you two are planning, and I'm so happy for you and want to help, but I can only do that if you leave with us tonight. Yes! I was so done with that basement. Also, the thought of living alone with my dad made me cringe. I immediately started packing, and Paula helped too. A few minutes later, we snuck out, and I was surprised to see a trailer house parked around the corner. Charlotte was already inside, looking so excited.
Look what I got from the costume shop today!
She held my mermaid costume, and I was in awe. Oh my god, it's so beautiful. How did you even afford to pay for that? It's the least we can do for you. Thanks so much, both of you. Where are we going?
I own some property outside of town. We'll park the trailer house there as we wait for the audition and decide what to do next.
For the first time in my life, I was outside and free to enjoy the fresh air without worrying about who would see me or what they would say. Paula's property turned out to be an open field with lots of grass. I spent hours outside every night stargazing and enjoying the cold breeze. I worried constantly if my dad was worried about me or if he would even look for me. How would he react if he saw me outside? Or if he found out I was going to an audition? When audition day finally came, Paula hired a car and drove me to the auditions. My mermaid costume was a perfect fit. And when I finally walked on stage, the crowd went wild. I had never received that much attention in my life, and I was freaking out. Just then, I saw Charlotte in the crowd, and she gave me a thumbs up. As someone in the crowd shouted,
Nice costume!
I closed my eyes, took a deep breath, and sang like my life depended on it. And it did. By the time I was done, the crowd was on their feet clapping, cheering, and giving me a standing ovation. It was magical, and I couldn't believe I'd done it. Within an hour, my TikTok account had gained 100,000 more followers. As soon as I left the stage, I rushed to the car, trying to get away from the crowd, like Cinderella running away from the prince before the clock struck midnight. By the side of the car, I was surprised to find Jonas waiting for me with a bouquet of flowers. That performance was perfect, Melody, and this costume made it even better. Before I could even say anything, he hugged me and I felt butterflies. Just then, I spotted Charlotte, but she saw Jonas and disappeared into the crowd. Phew! If Jonas saw her, he would realize he had met a fake Melody, and that would be the end of my career. The competition was going well, and I made it to the top of each round. One day, after an exceptional performance, Jonas waited outside for me and asked me out on a date in front of eager fans.
Say yes! Say yes!
Okay, sure. Fans went wild, and the story broke out in the tabloids minutes later. But I was a little sad. Of course, it was Charlotte who'd be going on the date. I wasn't jealous or anything. Okay, maybe a little. Jonas showed up at the trailer at exactly 7 p.m. Charlotte had spent all afternoon getting ready, and she looked stunning. When she walked out, Jonas took her hand and opened the car door for her. I watched them drive off, and a tear fell down my cheek. When they came back hours later, my heart sank as I watched Jonas kiss Charlotte. I wanted it to be me kissing Jonas so badly. As time went by, Charlotte and Jonas grew closer, and she would not shut up about him. She told me details of every date, and with every date they went to, I became more resentful. One day, I couldn't take it any longer, and I just blew up all that pent-up anger at Charlotte. He doesn't even like you. He's only with you because he thinks you're masked Melody.
That's not fair. I am literally doing this for you.
How's kissing the guy I like doing it for me?
Well, it's not my fault you're not brave enough to show him the real you, Melody.
The fight got really ugly, and Charlotte and I didn't talk to each other for a few days. On the final day of the talent show, I was almost certain I would win before I even got around to singing. Sure enough, I gave a show-stopping performance, and I won!
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner for the $1 million prize money and 12-month recording contract with Jonas record label, Masked Melody!
My dream had finally come true! I wanted to hug Charlotte, but she and I were still not talking, so I stood on the stage alone, still in my costume and mask. I was about to begin my acceptance speech when the crowd started chanting something that freaked me out.
Mask off! Take it off! Take it off!
Well, are you going to give your fans what they've wanted all season?
I'm sorry. I couldn't do it. I bolted and disappeared into my dressing room backstage.
Melody, wait!
Charlotte ran in after me and hugged me.
You don't need to do it if you're not ready, but someone has to go out there. Can I?
I nodded hesitantly, and she waited for a few minutes, then stepped onto the stage as the crowd cheered at her. I switched on the TV in the room and watched Charlotte smile and wave to the crowd. How long was I going to hide? I needed to show my real self. I took off my mask and costume and put on a dress that showed a lot of my skin. When I walked onto the stage, the whole place went silent, apart from a few gasps and whispers. All I could hear was my heart beating. When Charlotte spotted me, she smiled and handed me the mic.
Sing, Mel. Do what you do best.
And I did just that. I closed my eyes and ignored some of the horrified looks in the crowd. By the time I was done, everyone looked confused, and no one clapped or made a sound for a while. Just then, someone in the audience broke the silence as he stood up and started clapping. I squinted my eyes to see who it was, but I couldn't believe my eyes. Dad? After him, everyone else followed suit, and I got the longest standing ovation of my life.
How's that for a twist? Ladies and gentlemen, the actual Masked Melody!
The cheers were deafening. I was swept off my feet literally by a pair of hands that turned out to be my dad.
Melody, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. I only wanted to protect you.
But you were terrible to me and hurt me badly. Please forgive me. I will be a better father from now on. I need time to think about it. He begged me to go back home with him, but I couldn't trust him anymore. I couldn't help but feel that he only apologized to me because I was famous now. I am happy with Paula and Charlotte. Even though he looked hurt, he respected my decision and left promising to keep in touch.
So, you're Melody.
I turned to see a confused Jonas eyeing me curiously.
Yes.
And you already know my stepsister, Charlotte. I'm sorry we lied.
Oh, it's okay. You have no idea how famous we're about to get.
He pointed to a bunch of reporters taking photos and fighting to interview us. Charlotte was loving every minute of it, and so was I. The end.